This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in. We're the Meltdown. Live here with you on this fun Friday edition of the show. I am Tim Melton, and you are our lovely guests here in the Culver studio. It's quite warm in here. We're a little bit loopy. We had a fun outing today that we will talk about here very soon. But first and foremost, we want to welcome you, our guests here to Meldonia. Thank you for being an official member, Smuff. We greatly appreciate your contributions here to the show, and we appreciate everyone who's a subscriber here to the Meltdown. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet already, and that notification bell so you know when we go live or when Tyler has exited a movie theater. But first, before we introduce Tyler, I want to introduce E.G., who has a deck of cards in her hand right now and seems to be preparing for yet another poker onslaught very soon.
Yes, I am. I started it before we went live, but I had to see it through. But I will pause. To welcome in Meldonia.
Yes.
Hello.
You may have just seen by chance, if you're joining us live, Alabama wrap up their
Yes.
round one appearance. E.G., talk to us.
That was a little too close for a lot of people's comfort, Reed Taylor included. We were at our excursion that we can go into in a little bit whilst I was watching the game on my phone. And I yelled at my phone in public. I'm not proud of
We
it.
can talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Tyler, you got your picture of you standing outside this lovely establishment. Because I can't talk about it without seeing the greatest picture in the history.
It's up.
It's there. We all went to Mr. Wang's
We did.
today. We all went. We're the Wang Gang, and we went, and it was a lot of fun. Hashtag Wang Gang for life.
Yes. Agreed.
E.G., this was your first experience.
Yeah.
Heading
Yeah,
in.
we jumped her into the Wang gang today.
We did jump her into the Wang Gang. I don't know where this is headed. We're going to try to pull it back just a little bit. But Mr. Wang's, it was a fun experience, and it was one that I think we all bonded over. And you were screaming at your phone in public.
Yeah, I mean, it was delicious food. I had beef and broccoli, lo mein, rice, garlic chicken. Went back for more lo mein and rice, and then a little bit of beef and broccoli.
Yep.
And I had a donut.
You did. It was a perfect EG size donut.
It was.
It was just perfectly picked from the donut patch.
Yeah.
I almost said pumpkin patch. Definitely not a pumpkin patch thing. But we had a lot of fun. But we're also digesting currently.
Yeah.
We are living with our
A
choices,
lot of MSG.
and we really enjoyed our time there. So who knows? Maybe when you pop in there, you'll see us for some reason, because I'm addicted to the place. Tyler, we got to talk about something you're not addicted to, and that is seeing Snow White potentially a second time. I don't think that is something that will be on your list of things to do.
No, absolutely not.
So let's talk about this experiment that Disney went forward with. This was shot like in 2022.
Yes, it was. But real quick, I'm sorry. Quick chat check-in. Charles says, "How's the hot and sour soup?" It was delicious. I just had to point that out. The hot and sour soup is good.
Yeah.
And if you go for hot and sour soup on the reg, as Jim says, then you know, you just know.
Yes,
You know
absolutely.
ball.
Absolutely. I assume your trip to Mr. Wang's much more delightful than your trip to the uncanny valley of Snow White that's been put out there by Disney. Let's talk about this, because some people that are not going to see it, including me, says it looks like the worst thing in the world, including me.
Yeah.
It looks awful. I can't imagine much punishment that would be worse than having to sit through Snow White, based on what I've seen so far. Now, you did give it 1.5 stars out of 5. That's still really, really low. But what are some things? Let's start on the positive side. What are some
right.
things they got right?
The animals. They go for they bring the woodland critters back, and they do it in the same CG style that everything else is done in. And it actually looks pretty good. It looks faithful to the original style. It is probably the most emotive CG animal design I've seen from Disney live actions. So I actually thought it was pretty strong. Let's see. What else? Rachel Zegler was good. Um Talented singer and actress. Let's see here. Oh, I did take notes during the movie because I was not particularly immersed in the live action Snow
You
White.
took notes.
I did
Okay.
take notes.
You don't do that often.
No, I don't, because I'm typically paying attention to the movie and like, ooh, I wanna hang on to like every line.
Yeah.
But I was kind of checked out pretty early into this one, and I was just like, I will just take notes
Right.
and point out things I like and did not like. Rachel Zegler carries this movie. Every bit of charm that this movie has, other than the CG animals, which I still think are solid, comes from Rachel Zegler. That being said, that doesn't come across in the conversation around the movie because she's doing such a good job of making half the country not want to see it.
That is correct.
Yes,
Maybe more than half, depending on what the numbers are this weekend.
that's true. Let's see. So that's all the good. Now let's get to the bad.
Oh, that was it for the good.
Yeah, I thought the CG animals were good, and Rachel Zegler was
Okay.
solid.
Okay. Let's get to the bad. Gal
Um,
Gadot.
oh, we're just gonna start right there.
That's what I thought would be bad as well. Is
Yeah.
like she's pretty wooden.
This is the most wooden I've ever seen Gal Gadot.
Oh.
I mean, Snow White's about to eat the apple, and I'm thinking, Kal-El, no. Just everything was awful. She also sings in this movie. I didn't know Gal Gadot like ever offered her singing services.
Do you remember when we went into COVID lockdown and she did Imagine with all the other celebrities that was totally tone deaf, where they were locked away in their mansions and people were dying,
Do
not being able
remember
to say
that.
goodbye to their loved ones? But like Gal Gadot like sang in that, so that's why I remember Gal Gadot singing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
I'm
guess
sorry.
I chose to just like burn that away from my memory. But
Smart man.
yeah, Gal Gadot, absolutely wooden as ever. Does a lot of lip pursing. I mentioned in my out of the theater reaction that her performance was a lot of Hector Salamanca esque lip pursing. She really sells it. She goes, and that's about all she
Good
does.
reenactment.
That was.
I want a GIF of that. It's GIF. No, it's GIF.
It's gift.
The creators said it was GIF.
So
Like the
that
peanut butter.
doesn't give you authority over the English language.
The
But, yeah.
It's
you-
not a word. That's not a word.
It's an
though.
acronym for graphical interchange format. Do we make graphics for the show or do we make giraffics?
I would love giraffics, by the way. That sounds like.
Giraffics would be cool if they existed, but they don't, Tim.
But the creator.
Also, you can take another word that already exists, such as gift, as in a Christmas gift, for some clarification
I
there.
gotcha. Okay, you act like the English language is infallible, but we spell certain words
We-
5 different
We
ways.
do.
Yes.
So don't pull this whole like, we won a war and that gives us the right to be able to do the things we want to do the way we want to do
No,
them.
I'm saying people always go to, oh, well, the creator says it's pronounced this way.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But,
Okay. I understand. We won't let this.
what about like words like aunt and aunt?
I mean, that's just sort of, I don't know.
Checkmate. All right, now let's go ahead.
Accents? I don't know.
Let's get back to trashing Snow White because that's what's really bringing us together. This whole GIF thing is not. Snow White more on the bad list. Like I would think that was the dwarfs.
Exactly as
Okay,
awful as you
okay.
think.
Oh,
Okay.
But I would like to clear something up. Early on in Snow White's production, we saw set photos of 7 real people joining Snow White, and everybody was wanting to know, are these the dwarves? Are they getting rid of the dwarves entirely? And it's Snow White and the 7 companions, and there's just a lot of blah, 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 blah going on around that. It's the huntsman. That's it. There's 7 dwarves, 7 huntsmen. And one of the huntsmen is a little person.
But we believe that is supposed to be that way because there's 7 of them. Why would they do 7 of them?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they probably did change it.
Is it true in this movie there are things that happen that are just totally unexplainable and like they don't really get a lot of attention as to why they're happening or they just happen out of nowhere? Or...
I'm not really. So I was kind of expecting what everyone was like talking about. Oh, this is Snow White saving the kingdom. So I was expecting more action,
Mhm.
I guess. But that's not what happens. Like
So
it
what
pretty
is the story? Like, I don't
so
understand.
it kind of starts out and plays off the same, and then
I've
once
heard the
she
first 10 minutes are the best part. Is that
oh
not correct?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, they drag. They drag, buddy. You've got these like there's a war for the kingdom. You don't see any of that though. You just see the dead king and then evil queen take over. Magic mirror, you fast forward through Snow White growing up. Um and then pretty much plays out the same as what I remember, except until after she wakes up, she is just like, "Oh, come on, guy who would be the prince stand-in, but is kind of just a thief," and she kind of smacks him around verbally a lot, and then they go and march up to the castle, and she's just like, "Yeah, I remember all of you. That you used to be a farmer and you used to be a baker. We got to be kind to each other," and that's basically the end.
Awesome.
That's the big climactic finish.
Now,
But it
normally,
starts off with a just some awful narration, and that's normally not something I would like go after. But they have the guy who is dopey. He's the narrator, and his voice is just very raspy and very weak, and so it just starts off on the wrong foot because you're just like, oh, this isn't a narrator's voice.
all right.
You know, you're not telling a story like that. Let's see here. Oh, and rest of the CG other than the animals is absolutely terrible. Whether it's the dwarves, whether it's the landscapes, the mines that I was excited about because I love a good mine cart scene like Temple of Doom and whatnot. It looks just boring. They they somehow managed to take a place that's supposed to be filled with color and just make it look gray and like that dark blue purplish kinda
Yeah, the
that
aesthetic
you
for
get
this
with
film.
the blue screen films. I don't like it, and yeah, it's just not good.
Would kids like this movie, you think? Like, are they gonna be like, "Oh, bright muted colors," which is the opposite, those things clash, but, like, we don't like the color palette of this, but would kids, you think, be able to check out long enough to go, "I'm really enjoying this," or is this something
No,
that they're like, "Where are the minions?"
it they're probably gonna be wondering, like, where's, like, any comedy or fun
Mm,
because, like, you kinda get a little bit of banter between the dwarves,
yeah,
but none of
and
it's
the
really all that good.
you're not a big fan of musicals, but the musical numbers, there's some original songs in here and stuff. Did those pop?
Gal Gadot's ones were very, very weak. Um, the ones where it was like the whole cast, they feel like every other sort of musical of today where it's the whole cast singing. Um, it's a lot of the sort of belting out the lines sort of style. I really don't like that style of singing. It just feels like the band fun to
Mm,
me.
I love fun.
I like that band, and they're the only ones that can do it right.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
it's
it's
like a
just
cheap
like
knockoff.
yeah, it's just like, "Oh, why are we still doing this in 2025?" It
Yeah.
just feels like it's so, quintessential of that time, like early 2010s. But that wasn't good. Rachel Zegler's pretty good. Um, but yeah, I preferred Wicked, like, so much more. Like, they actually the creators of Wicked actually care about the source
Wow.
material and making a good product.
Wow.
Like, it's not my cup of tea, but everybody involved, like, at least cared,
It's the nicest
tried.
that's the nicest thing I've heard you say about Wicked, is that
This is Snow White is just a slog to
it's
get
slow.
through the entire way.
Won't go down as one of your 10 best movies of the year, you think?
No, but, I mean, with the slop we've been getting, it might not go down as 10 worst movies of the
Oh,
year either.
that's also true. It's been a rough year for cinema. My hope is Sunday, Tyler, it cleanses your palate to go sit down with Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer.
Similar.
I screwed it up,
I'm
EJ.
sorry.
I'm sorry that you never make a mistake.
Oh my lord.
I'm just kidding. Hans Zimmer, still recovering from the Wang Gang experience, but that's going to be a lot of fun for you, that concert film on Sunday, I believe, as a giant Dune fan like you are. That's my opinion. Okay, here's what I'm going to say here. You know, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
They don't say an apple a day keeps a dentist away, which is exactly why you need a dentist on standby. Because you can eat that apple a day, still maybe have to go to the dentist.
Might cause you to go to the dentist.
That's also true. So go ahead and reach out to the dental team that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. Whether you have that nagging toothache or maybe, who knows, you just need to get on top of those regular cleanings, they are there for you. If you're new in town, you need to make sure you have a dentist on standby. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients now and can help you with all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com where they look forward to seeing you. Okay. Last thoughts here on Snow White, Tyler. Something you would recommend most people if they're on the fence to skip, it sounds like, especially since this is something that will land on Disney Plus before the year is up.
Absolutely. There's better family movies you could go to, or you could just not spend the money. You could stay home and watch something that's already out and is better.
Doesn't that stink when it comes to us trying to preserve theater going and to know that these movies come out that we can't wholeheartedly recommend to people spend their money on?
I mean, it's not our fault. All we can do is just be honest about
Right.
the movies we see. Like, if it's not worth seeing, it's not worth seeing,
Right.
and that's just been the case with a lot of movies
Here-
lately. But now, after Snow White, late last night, I was able to catch Locked with Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård. I really recommend it.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, tight knit thriller, 90 minutes, you're in and out. Very simple concept. Thief gets locked in a high-tech car, and the owner is basically like Jigsaw almost. He's like, I've got my own moral code, and you broke it, you wronged me, so I get to torture you. And it really worked for me.
In the
Solid performances all around.
in the movie, do you find yourself at times rooting for Bill Skarsgård? Because that's the only way I feel like that premise sort of works.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're conflicted.
yeah. Like, he's a thief, obviously, but you're introduced to his backstory and why he's stealing, and so you sympathize with him. And then throughout the film, like Anthony Hopkins will call the car, and so Bill Skarsgård has to pick up the phone on the large infotainment screen, and they talk to each other about morality and just what on earth. Y'all heard that too, right?
Yeah.
That monkey, something just hit the window.
I felt like it was like right here. Like I felt it.
Yeah.
My chair.
Something just hit the wall or the window or whatever. But
Weird.
did you just hit it back?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been the curse has been reversed, everyone. EG has hit back. Okay. Well,
Very claustrophobic feeling the entire movie.
that's awesome.
It's great.
That sounds like an awesome little thriller.
It is, yeah.
For sure. Does he sound Hannibal Lecterish?
Uh, no, he's very British.
Sounds
He
good.
he calls him old chap a lot. He
Sounds
calls
good.
Bill Skarsgård old chap in sport.
All right. Well, thank you to all the old chaps that are here with us watching along. Not to call you old or even chaps completely, but we are thankful to have you here on the Friday edition of the Meltdown. I want to get into a little 10 with Tim. I had so much fun playing 10 with Tim yesterday. I said I got to write up 10 new questions because I got to get 10 new answers. You know,
Yeah.
really 20 new answers.
I'm excited.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're in a state right now where you're barely hanging on because I'm right there with you.
Are
Yeah.
you in a are y'all in a Wang's coma?
We are.
Still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
Yeah. I like to call it Wanger.
You know, ambulance.
Question number one. Tyler, have you ever had a childhood movie that you really liked that you've watched recently and realized it's not as good as you remember? That's a tough question to ask off the cuff. I'm going to be honest. That's like a 4 downs question that people
Yeah.
need time to recover for. I'm going to give mine first.
Okay.
I recently rewatched the movie Big with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was not nearly as good as I remembered it being. I was really kind of disappointed in it. I was like, oh, I thought this movie was a little bit more magical than
Yeah.
what I just witnessed. And maybe that's just me as an adult being more cynical about the whole story. But as a kid, I thought that movie was a lot better. Now, as an adult, I'm like, take it or leave it.
Hmm.
Is there one that you have, EG?
Processing. Hold on.
Like, you're very attached to the, 11 Anne Hathaway movie you've seen.
Yeah. Um,
I don't know. Is there a movie that you feel like you've sort of, oh, well, that isn't as magical as I once remember?
I feel like there is one. I'm just trying to think of it. Just give me one moment.
After this weekend, for a lot of people, it will be Snow White.
Yeah.
It's a childhood classic they grew up with, and now it's been ruined.
I mean, I think I remember rewatching the Cinderella movie, and that was like I was Cinderella for Halloween so many years, and rewatching it, it's magical, but it's not what I remembered, I would say. I think I remembered like the sequels and prequels that they did, but the original one wasn't as magical as it was when I was 3, 4, or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I am getting some hate for saying big
Really?
in the chat, for sure. And then Brian Pavlik says big is great. Dumb and Dumber did not hold up for me.
I don't like
Now
Dumb and Dumber.
that is a hot
That's
take,
wrong.
Brian Pavlik.
Yeah, that's a hot
I don't like
take.
Will Ferrell.
Charles, I might catch hell for this, but for me, it's Gremlins. What is going on? We're turning the chat against some all-time greats.
Oh,
What's going
I
on here?
watch Gremlins every Christmas.
Still holds up.
It still holds up.
So good. That town, just the snow,
Gizmo,
the gremlins at the bar, just having a good time.
the movie theater.
Yeah. Being a kid is like rooting for Gizmo. Being an adult is rooting for the gremlins. I'm like, yes, more fire and destruction. Okay. Did you ever name one, Tyler?
I did not because you said childhood.
It's okay if you don't have one.
I don't know because like every time I've gone back and watched like the Scooby Doo movies, like live action or the straight to VHS ones, I still get as much enjoyment out of it. Like they're solid. I think something I saw as a kid. Ooh,
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to move on to question
Yeah.
two
I
at
don't know,
some
Brother
point.
Bear.
Brother Bear.
That probably wouldn't hold up.
Okay. No follow-up question from me. Question number 2. More terrifying, e.g., exploring a cave deep underground or rock climbing to a very tall cliff?
Mm,
Which one would be more
I would
horrifying for you?
say probably cave underground because that can involve some collapsing, some narrow spaces, limited light. Whereas if you're climbing, you can see your surroundings better. You're up higher, but the worst would be getting stuck in a cave, you know?
You think getting stuck in a cave? I'm not gonna challenge it
Yeah.
because it's one of my darkest fears, literally.
Claustrophobia
Well, I don't belong
in a cave.
in narrow caves.
No, I mean, truthfully, I don't think anyone does.
Because if Tyler and I go spelunking
Yes.
and I get stuck,
You're done.
my last goodbye is to Tyler, and I'm giving him all the things that I hope that he passes along to the people that I need to say goodbye to.
Have you guys been spelunking?
No,
I have.
of course you have. Tell me more.
Yeah, and we spent the night in the cave, actually. Um,
And you obviously loved it so much that you're choosing climbing a steep mountain.
yeah, I remember it was pretty muddy, so your clothes get disgusting. We had to, before we went with the cave instructors, there was this box. And they said, okay, you have to, like, we're out here in the cavern. Before we go in, you have to be able to crawl through this box because this is like where we'll have to crawl through at one point. Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah. And like there was one place where this like ladder that's like built into the side of the cave, and then you had to like go up, but at the top it was like this big. And you had to like army crawl
No.
and then yeah.
No, I went on a I paid a ticket to go through Rock City or whatever
Yeah. I'm
in
familiar.
Gatlinburg. No, Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
And like there are moments where you got to continue on through the tour going through a narrow cave that's short.
Mhm. And duck.
And I'm like,
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
getting
no.
sort of trapped in there.
No.
That was years ago. I can only imagine now that I've beefed up even more exactly what would happen, but I'm terrified. And the cave thing does worry me, but I don't need to be climbing the side of a mountain either.
No, I mean, I think that there's pros and cons to each. I think of that guy that got stuck upside down in a cave, and so I would rather
Ugh.
fall to my death, I think, than be
Yes.
collapsed, because at least you get a good view on the way down.
At least you get a little shot of adrenaline, like,
Yeah.
you can run through in your head, "Oh, I messed up."
Yeah.
Down there,
You're thinking about your whole life.
you're just like, "Man, I wish death would take me."
Yeah.
Gosh, it's awful. I hate this question.
You do.
Gosh, we wanna thank all of our lovely sponsors, by the
We
way, while
do.
we talk about this. Tyler, if you had to pick which one would be more terrifying, exploring a cave deep underground or rock climbing to a very tall cliff, mountain, etc.?
Weirdly enough, I'd be more afraid of climbing. Um, yeah.
I think you'd do well underground. That's my
Yeah.
professional opinion.
I'm good. I'm kind of flexible and I can fit in small spaces. I'm compact, you know?
Yeah, I don't have that luxury.
And like
I can't fit into the mid-size SUVs.
No.
I remember gosh, this must have been like a year and a half plus ago. We were filming a short or a TikTok or something here, and for the bit, I was in a boiler suit and a Michael Myers mask, and I had to go under the bathroom stalls down the
Ew.
hall and like pop up in one of the stalls.
Gross.
And I shimmied under there.
Good for you, man. That's loyalty,
But
dedication, and
I just
respect.
want to point out something in the chat real
Oh, yeah,
quick
yeah.
that was cracking me up.
Yeah.
Saybear says spelunking is the epitome of white nonsense. He's right.
Yeah. I
You
agree.
look at the map of missing people over the map of cave systems in the
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
People go missing in caves.
Brian Pavlik loves two things: spelunking and Song of the South, and he wants both of them to remain popular. So there we go. All right, we move on to this. Question number 3. Who is one teacher that you had, Tyler, that you really, really liked? Other than me.
It would have been my history teacher. He
You had the same one your whole life?
no, this is would have been my I guess junior year
Okay, okay.
of high school, and he was just a really nice guy. Really made an effort to like be friendly and helpful, and always talked movies with me.
Look at
Look at you
that.
now.
Gave me a bunch of recommendations and stuff like that. Yeah.
We need to get him as a subscriber. What do you have like a Mr. What's his last name? Do you know? You remember?
I don't wanna, like
Okay.
This is
Okay.
positive though.
Okay.
But
yeah, yeah,
All right. Well,
Okay.
Mr. History teacher.
yeah.
We'll go with that.
okay.
Okay. We don't want to dox anybody. I will ask you, EG, have you had a teacher in your life that has made an impact?
Yes, actually so many. It's hard to narrow it down. Going back to elementary school, I can name probably one. Golly, all my teachers were awesome, but 4th grade, that was a bad year for me. Um, I don't like, even know how to narrow it down.
I'm learning today that the Georgia public school system is much better than the Alabama school system.
You wanna tell them?
Yeah, she went to private school.
Oh, well, there we go.
That was your first mistake.
No, I did go
Yeah,
to
wait, that is
I
it?
did go to public school for elementary school, and I had great teachers then. Miss Penny in 1st grade, she was awesome. She actually took me to, High School Musical 3 in theaters, and also one of my classmates asked me out on a date, his name was Michael, to Kung Fu Panda, and she went with us in 1st grade.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there,
Yeah.
but movies really made an impact on both of you,
I guess
it
so,
sounds like.
yeah, I had great high school teachers. Miss Schwan, she was my AP Gov teacher.
So yours is a sweet 16 of all these different teachers that you would
I
put
could
in a bracket.
literally name one, I think, from every year that made an impact, which is
That's
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Mine is Miss Hardy from 4th grade. 4th grade was not a great year for you. It was a great year
No,
for me.
you're right.
I discovered Shakespeare and chess in the same year, changed my life forever. Learned that I really liked both of those. I
Yeah.
liked competing in a game where there's very little there's no variance in chess. Like you got to know
Mhm.
what you're doing and you got to make it happen. And poker's the opposite. Poker's full of variance where craziest things can happen, which is
Yeah.
why everybody still huddles around every single Monday night. And then Shakespeare taught me about how much I love the stage and how much I love being in front of audiences and how much I love talking to people and all that. So it was a great year, 4th grade. Miss
Good.
Hardy, thank you very much. Okay, we go to question number 4. If you had to pick, e.g., would you say you feel younger or older than you actually are? If you had to pick one of those two, most days, do you feel younger or older than you actually are?
Younger. Sometimes I feel like I should be going, well,
You came back from your birthday trip going, I'm now.
mature. I don't know. It's a weird juxtaposition because some days I feel like I should be like in high school, like I should be going to class like with my backpack on. And then sometimes I'm like, man, I've kind of done a lot in 24 years. Today, I feel younger.
Today you feel younger. All right. Tyler, on most days, do you feel younger or older than you actually are?
Kind of like EG. It kind of depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like just high school age, like college never happened, and I'm not an adult with a job. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then some days I'm just like, oh, I need to be in bed by like 5.
I have always felt older than I
Really?
am. Always felt older. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I had older siblings, I had older parents, I have
Yeah.
older cousins, I was always around older people. So I always felt older. And that would be my answer. Okay. Plus I was always taller than everybody my age.
That's true.
So it
That
like
does
immediately
add.
made me feel older. I was always treated older
Yeah.
because I was always the largest one in the room.
I have to pick up the chairs afterwards for
Right.
sure.
Like on a spelunking sort of trip, I would be named Spelunk Leader
Yeah,
if
that's
I
pretty
was
cool.
because of my size. We go to this. If you had to lose one of your senses, Tyler, which one would you choose? So let's run through the senses. Do we need
Okay.
to make this?
Sight,
Yep.
hearing,
Yep.
Smell,
smell, taste,
taste.
touch.
Yep. There we are.
Smell.
Smell.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Smell is gone for Tyler. That was
I
quick.
debated going hearing because I already struggle to hear anyway sometimes.
Oh.
I feel like you have to tell me something 2 or 3 times before I go, "Oh, that's what you said."
Okay. Okay. That makes sense now.
I'm gonna go smells too because all the other ones. I mean, I feel like smell and taste are very attached because they are. I'd be really sad not to be able to taste things or smell things, but I would rather lose that sense than especially eyesight. I'm not giving up eyesight or really hearing. And touch would be really sad to not be tactile.
See, I think touch would be my answer.
Really?
What are you trying to go Jack Quaid from Novocaine?
Well, I guess I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the previews enough to understand the reference
Yeah.
and know
Like
that
petting a
yeah,
dog, you wouldn't be able to.
I'm not a dog person.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
Not a dog person.
I'm a big
Hmm.
dog person.
Yeah. I mean, you both looked at me with disdain when I said that. I'm not Orlando Airport type person, but I'm like,
I mean, I think
have y'all
it's
heard that
if
story
you're
by the way?
It'll make me sad.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
yeah, I saw that and
I hate to bring it up now, but I thought y'all just hadn't heard the story, which is why there's no
no, I
reaction.
I
You don't
scrolled
want to think
past
about
Don't
it.
want to think about it.
Got
I
it.
saw the headline and I was like, I don't want to read that.
Got it.
Yeah, I think it's because big dog people when they hear somebody go like, "Oh yeah, I don't like dogs," they're just like, "What? Why?" And then uh, when a dog doesn't like a person, they trust the dog.
Yeah, that's true.
That is correct.
Dogs have good instincts.
It's 100%. Okay, we go to this. If you had to say, which you do, because this is a game of 10 with Tim, e.g., who was your first celebrity crush?
My first probably Troy Bolton, Zac Efron,
Is that his High School
musical
Musical character?
character.
The Wildcats, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember having a lot of High School Musical requested when I would work the day shift at the skating
Really?
rink. Like, it was mainly private parties.
Yeah, they would want the High School
They want
Musical.
High School Musical, Hannah Montana, that
Oh,
stuff.
loved Hannah Montana.
It was like a whole phase then.
Yeah,
So, there was that.
Zac Efron.
Okay. Tyler, who would you say is was your first celebrity crush?
Maybe like Emma Watson.
Hermione.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't once again I'm not a Harry Potter person, so I can't elaborate on
Okay.
this conversation. And
Who was yours?
that's where we'll leave it. My first celebrity crush. Um, gosh, I don't want to just make something up that's not legitimate. but I'm trying to remember like
Your yonder years.
100% what the answer would be. And I am struggling to remember exactly who that is. Um,
No Kelly Kapowski. No.
I'm not that old, Tyler.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
know.
yeah,
You watched some reruns.
yeah, I did watch some reruns. She's, you know,
I also don't know when that aired.
yeah, like late '80s, early
Oh,
'90s.
that was in the 80s.
Yeah, late '80s, early '90s.
Oh,
Saved by the Bell.
dang. I'm sorry, Tim. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. I mean, the college years I think took place in maybe the mid '90s. I'm sure there's some Saved by the Bell aficionado. It's bad. I wrote this question and I can't necessarily answer it right off the top of my head.
Well, let me see if anybody in the chat jogs your memory. Um, Nick says Topanga.
That's a popular one.
Yep, that's a popular choice. Pavlik says Jodie Sweetin from Full House.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie
Stephanie Tanner.
Tanner. Hunter Bussey says Vanessa Hudgens. Um, what was her? That was High School
High School
Musical
High
as
School
well.
Musical,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smuff says Christine Taylor when she played Melanie on Hey Dude. Jody says Daisy Duke. Charles says either Daisy Duke or Lonnie Anderson.
Oh, I've got one. I
Okay.
know my answer.
Yeah, there we
Let's hear
go.
it.
It's Jessica Biel from 2003's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. Yeah,
No.
good choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to this. Next question. Do you have any reoccurring dreams? And if so, what are they about, roughly? Tyler? Reoccurring dreams, do you have them?
I always have dreams that I'm at work and I've forgotten to do something important.
Oh,
Hmm.
really?
Yeah, that is a recurring dream, and I'll wake up like anxious. Yeah,
Oh.
I'll be like, "Oh man, I've definitely forgotten to do
So
something."
are we in your dreams?
Um,
Or is it just you're here alone and you're like, what have I got to do?
it's more like I'm at the I'm behind the board at TNR sitting by all the monitors, and I just have the feeling of I've forgotten to do something important. Oh no, everything's going wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
I have quite a few.
Okay. Well, everybody buckle up.
I
Here we
know.
go.
My first one is I am about to be in a cheer competition and I don't know the routine.
This sounds like the most EG answer ever.
I've never cheered a day in my life either. That's the weird
I'm
part.
about to walk in Dolce and Chanel and my credit card gets declined.
No.
I've just got my nails done. I'm about to walk into Dolce and Gabbana, and I've spritzed, and my card, it
Shut
vanishes.
up.
It gets stolen out of my, and I'm
No.
like, I'm good for it. Give me the purse.
Shut up. Okay.
I'm good for it.
Apparently,
Cheer.
EG joined the cast of Portlandia.
I know. Golly, I didn't know I sounded like that. Okay.
Well,
all
I
that
don't
to
sound
say,
like rush dress for this.
Rush,
Whatever.
I never say you sound like it. That's just what it comes out of my brain. Oh, okay. I've never cheered a day in my life. That's what's weird about that. I've never been a cheerleader. And my recurring dream is I'm in a cheer competition and I don't know the routine. Okay. Number one. Number two, I'm driving and I'm about to go on a bridge. And right before I get on the bridge, my car goes into the water. Yeah.
Can't joke about that one. That's
No, it's
awful.
awful.
That's awful.
My third one is my teeth are falling out. But they're not like I'm not spitting them out. They're aching and they're like twisting out.
Why didn't we have this
I
question
know.
earlier? Because I would recommend you go to the professionals on Grants Mill Road. That's Alabama Dental Associates. Show the slide again, Tyler. Alabama Dental. Reach out to them, Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. And Saber asked the question, like, because I did the segue of an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
I said that doesn't have to do with dentists. And then he goes, isn't a doctor and a dentist the same thing? Yes, it is. But it didn't work for the segue I was trying to do with an apple because of Snow White. So there we go. But they are the
Yeah.
doctors and dentists that you can trust over at Alabama Dental Associates. Thank you, Tyler.
Those are my three.
That's it.
Yeah. I feel like I have another one, but those are the ones that come to mind.
So I have recurring dreams that I am on stage and don't know the script. I don't know the play.
But a cheer competition you don't know the routine to is suddenly an issue.
No, I didn't say it was an issue. I just said that like that's such an easy answer considering you're not even, you don't even have a cheer background.
No, not.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Next question. Be honest, EG. You've been to a sporting event, you're watching the cheer routine, and you're going like, oh, I could do so much better than blah,
No,
blah,
in
blah."
another life, like I'm not kidding. This is my problem, guys.
Open up.
I am. I want to do so many different things in life. Like, I feel like I can't get it all in this one. Like, in another life, Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, would love to. Another life, gymnast, never could do it. I would have go back and be a college cheerleader. I never did any of it.
Mm,
Be a spy. And I'm running out of time.
mm.
I want to do so many things.
Aren't you still supposed to be on Jeopardy in about
Yeah,
2 years?
want to do Jeopardy? Would love to do that. Would love to do this like train through Mozambique, maybe, where it's like this uh what is it? This what are you talking
Mozambique.
in Africa? Yeah.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, and like you like get on it and you ride and on the train and it's like it's not charcoal, but then it's you pay this guide to take you and you wake up over the desert and I don't know. I have a lot of things I want to do in life.
Mozambique? Mozambique?
Mozambique
I was
or
not expecting
Mauritania.
that.
It's Mauritania.
That
Excuse
sounds
me.
that sounds right.
It's also
Okay,
in Africa.
next question. What does your morning likely look like tomorrow? E.g., what does your morning look like
Huh,
tomorrow? Okay, because
okay.
Saturdays are different, especially off-season Saturdays.
Yeah.
What does your morning look like tomorrow?
I'm going to wake up. I need to go get my highlight retouched
Hold
because
on. Time out. Around what time? Give me a window of like when the perfect. Do you set an alarm on the weekends?
no, I usually just am up by like probably 8:30 at the latest. I'll get a cup of coffee and then I need to go get my highlight retouched and then I have a wedding. So I'll be driving probably.
Okay. Tyler, what's your Saturday morning look like? Give me an
Um,
idea.
Probably get up 6-ish, maybe a little earlier.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Um, Errands. Um, might see a movie. I don't know. Hopefully, rest at some point.
okay.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Um, I if I'm waking up at 6 on a weekend day, something very wrong has happened in my life.
Yeah.
I turn into the biggest night owl on the weekends.
How late? Like 3 a.m.?
I'm normally up till about 1 on the weekdays.
I like a 1 o'clock at night. I feel like it's pretty cool.
It is. And then I would say about 3 a.m. on the weeknights. Or sorry, the weekends. The weekends about
Dang.
3 a.m. around there. So I feel like I'm just so much more productive at night.
Yeah, I can like around 9 p.m. I always get a burst of energy to get something done.
Hans Zimmer, he doesn't talk about this in the documentary, but I've been watching some stuff about him on YouTube, and he talks about how he likes working 9 to 5. But his 9 to 5 is 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Ooh,
And I would
interesting.
love working that shift. It feels so productive, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
And
And
then just
typically
like
the overnight hours they typically
pay you
pay more
more.
too.
Mhm.
So who knows? Maybe we need to do overnight shows. What do y'all think? Like midnight? Would everybody be here for it?
No.
Okay. Okay. No one likes that idea. Let's move on. Are you loyal, Tyler, to a certain brand of deodorant? Are you loyal to you got to have this brand?
I guess I'm partial to Old Spice.
Old Spice.
I like Roll On though. I don't do the Axe body spray. That's disgusting.
Man, middle school
Ooh,
years,
Lord.
it was just always full of
Brutal.
Axe body spray.
Oh yeah.
Um, I remember Old Spice, they had this great slogan on the back of their bottle. I was reading it and it said, "If your grandfather hadn't worn this, you wouldn't be here."
That's so good.
And I'm like,
Dang.
"Damn, Old Spice."
Yeah. I like the vibes.
I mean, that's just like
Poetic.
boom, they sort of embraced their,
Yeah.
you know, their lineage.
Yeah.
Okay. E.g., are you loyal to a certain brand of deodorant?
Dove, 0% aluminum.
Dove 0% aluminum.
Yeah.
Okay. I have nothing to say off of that other than
Okay.
thank you for very
I'm also
specifically
loyal to
telling
a
me
scent
yes.
too.
Loyal to a scent as
Yeah.
well.
Cucumber melon.
Cucumber melon. Okay. Don't know anything about that. I am a free agent typically when it comes to
Really?
deodorant. Yeah. If I'm out, I go and I look, and whichever one sort of looks like it
Pretty cool.
belongs in my life, I grab it.
Same with body wash.
And I switch it up between sprays and roll-ons.
Oh, okay.
I never stay in
See,
in a
I
committed
stick with
relationship with deodorant.
I stick with Roll On because I also like to wear cologne. Can't spray deodorant and then
It
and then cologne.
just
You're crossing the
intersects too much.
beams.
I agree. Okay. Chat, any strong opinions on this, by the way?
Hunter says Dove cocoa butter. Roll the credits.
Give me that cocoa butter. That's
Nick
a
says he goes with Dove for men stuff, so a lot of
Yeah, and
Dove love in the chat.
the gray dove. Yeah, I've seen that.
we had a wang hang earlier.
Yeah,
We hung out,
we
Mhm.
did.
Mr. Wangs. Dove love, wang
Wang
hang.
hang.
There's all kinds of things going on in the world. Anything else, Tyler?
Pavlik wants to know if right guard is even a thing anymore.
I think it is.
I think so.
Am I wrong? I think it is.
I
It is
think so.
overwhelming. I mean, the choices you have, you're like,
Sure.
man, it's like a wall. You do the thing where you smell ever before you purchase something like that? Like you unpop, take
Yeah.
a sniff.
Well, with body washes, absolutely.
Not with deodorant.
Gotcha. I think the biggest pet peeve I had, the thing I did not like about the dating phase and the fiance phase is that when my wife and I would go to the store, girlfriend at the time, she would smell every bottle that was there. Like it would take 20 minutes just to get through the shampoos and body washes and
Mm.
deodorants because every one of them, she was like, let me think about this in my life. Okay, no, all right, let me move on to the next one. I'm like, okay, one down, only
200 more to go.
exactly. And I'm like, we only have a finite amount of time on this earth, and I don't want to spend it.
Sniffing body washes.
So if you hear Reed unfortunately deliver the news to you that I have passed, there's a chance it's in the aisle of a body wash or some sort of like deodorant aisle
Okay.
at the store because I will have just faded into
Yeah.
oblivion there. Last question. If money was no issue, Tyler, what is an experience you'd pay over $200,000 for? And
Ooh.
e.g., it cannot be something you've already named today. It has to be something
Okay.
else. If money was no issue, you have an infinite amount of money. What's an experience you'd pay over $200,000 for? Something really bougie.
I don't know.
Would you do was there a certain performer you'd want to go see their entire tour? Or maybe you want to have some sort of
Travel experience.
travel, anything come to
Um,
mind? Bucket list, like money's no
oh,
issue?
I was maybe a year ago, I saw a Mr. Beast video where what they did was they would rent these private islands that have these villas and stuff on them, and then sometimes you can just rent the entire island. Um, and so they would do that and go from like progressively like cheaper to more expensive. And
Okay.
so I would ball out at one of the nice islands where you have your own staff, you can just drive around supercars, and there's a water park.
See, I thought we weren't gonna get an answer from
I
Tyler. I
thought
was
so
concerned
too.
there for a
I
second.
had to think about it because like nothing I would like actually reasonably want to go on trips wise is $200,000.
It looked like you were on the ropes, and then you pulled out a fantastic answer, so good job there, Tyler. If money was no issue, e.g., what's an experience you'd pay over $200,000 for?
Yachting around the world.
Yachting around the
That
world.
would be way more than
It would, but
$200,000.
you're in the right
I'm in the
ballpark
right
of,
ballpark.
like, that would pay your staff
Oh my
for
gosh.
a few days.
Yeah, maybe like 3. I would love to start off, maybe go from coast of Florida, do the Caribbean, go down to, like, South America, see what's up over there, and then I don't have to get another yacht and go to Europe, and then hop on, do, like, the Mediterranean. Oh my gosh, and, like, at each stop, fly out, like, different friends, and then family members, but I'm on it the whole time, and then yeah.
Sorry, but you have to leave now. My experience continues.
Spinning off of your answer though, what about going to Monaco for the
Oh,
F1?
absolutely.
Like that is so much more than $200,000.
I would
Iron Man 2, good movie.
I would plan my yacht vacation probably maybe a year long, and I would make sure to dock at different global events around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
have thought this
I
out.
have
That's exceptional. That's going to do it for 10 with Tim, and that is going to do it today for the Meltdown. We want to thank you for being here with us as we broadcast on this fun Friday edition of the show. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you tell all your friends, hey, there's this goofy show that comes on every day. They talk about Mr. Wang's, they talk about Culver's, they talk about their friends there at MyBookie, their friends at Alabama Dental. Speaking of MyBookie, by the way, a wonderful time to be a part of all of the fun at mybookie.ag, where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime at mybookie.ag. Use that promo code next round. You're going to get that 50% deposit bonus on up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. They're going to let you try things out there on their dime over at mybookie.ag. EG, thank you so much. I don't know what your full schedule looks like next week, but we will be in touch
Yes, of
about
course.
what's going on here when it comes to the madness of this month. Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns, thank you for all your work this week and for braving the dreaded forest that Snow White lives in and going and seeing that catastrophe. We will have on Monday, no doubt, a follow-up.
We will.
Hopefully the final time maybe we ever even talk about Snow White. There's a chance on Monday.
It's shaping up to be enough of a bomb to where we don't have to mention it ever again.
Hopefully we don't have to talk about it much more. But that's going to do it for our week here in Meltdonia. Thank you so much for your loyal support. We will see you again very soon. Have a wonderful and safe weekend, and we'll catch you back here on the flippity flop known as the Meltdown.